Hi, welcome to Chad Sports Talk. My name's Chad, and we dive in the world of sports. Welcome to this special edition of Chad Sports Talk as I kind of review over the first game of the NFL season of the Dallas Cowboys at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I missed a few parts at the beginning of the game since I was uploading another video for my channel. I was able to see the highlights of that. And I kind of go over some aspects of what's going on. Now, if you watch my predictions video, you say I kind of had a question mark on Dak's shoulder because of his preseason injury, and we weren't able to see his mobility with his legs recovering from his season-ending leg injury. And Dallas' defense was still a huge question mark. And then the other side of the ball, Tampa Bay, returning all 22 stars from the Super Bowl team, should be poised to make a nice dominant run through the season. A lot of questions were answered, but a lot of new ones were posed. Dak's shoulder looks amazing. He was tossing that rock every which way he could with no issues. And he was actually picking apart that Tampa Bay defense. And the Tampa Bay defense had a hard time getting to Dak Prescott. So now the question mark is Tampa Bay defense still the same defense? On the other side of the ball, Tom Brady still proved he was the GOAT. He led a game-winning drive at the end of the game. But that defense just could not stop Dallas's passing attack. It could not get to Dak Prescott. They couldn't make him run like they made Patrick Mahomes run in last year's Super Bowl. This is the same defense or not. Tampa Bay's offense looked like it's firing on all cylinders once again. Another key takeaway I kind of noticed was the lack of a running attack by either team. So kind of lets us know that the front line of both defenses are going to be stout against the run attack. Maybe other teams can use that to their advantage. Who knows? For some of the stats from last night's game, and I'm going to start with Dallas and some of their key aspects. He's like Dak Prescott was 42 of 58 for 403 yards with 3 touchdowns and only 1 pick. I mean, that is just phenomenal numbers and would win in the other football games he played in. His top receiver was Amari Cooper, who had 139 yards and 2 TDs. And the young phenom CeeDee Lamb had over 100 yards himself with a touchdown. The big letdown was Zeke Elliott not getting anything. He only had 33 yards on 11 carries and was stopped from scoring a touchdown by a backup safety on Tampa Bay's defense. He's shown he's not worth the money as of now. Pretty much showed it last year as well because he was fumbling the ball quite a bit. But he did provide a lot of key blocks on the line that gave Dak Prescott the time to find that man open or be able to fling in a narrow window to complete those passes. But, we know he was not paid to be a blocker. He was paid to be a bruising running back like he showed early in his career. So we'll kind of see how the season progresses. Once again, it's only game 1, so you have to kind of adjust your game plan to match the defenses. And they notice that they can pass the ball but not run the ball. On the other side of the ball, Tom Brady was 32 of 50 for 379 yards, 4 TDs and 2 picks. One of those picks was a in and a half Hail Mary, so let's not really count that, but still. Phenomenal passing yards once again. And he was given a lot of time at the end to make that game-winning drive. Another aspect, their running attack, led by Fournette, only had 32 yards on the ground. And Jones, who ended up causing a fumble, only had 14 yards. Receiving rise, Antonio Brown was the AB of old. He had 121 yards and a touchdown. Godwin, who had a couple drops in a costly fumble that Dallas ended up turning into a field goal to take a late fourth quarter lead, still had 105 yards and a touchdown. And the old Brady Gronk connection still alive and well. 90 yards, 2 touchdowns. They ended up scoring 100 career touchdowns together. I mean, that's just a phenomenal aspect of these two athletes and their long history career dating back to their times in New England. But, turnovers were killing the Buccaneers. And one thing that killed Dallas was their kicking game. And unfortunately, Zerline missed 2 field goals and an extra point. So that's 7 points left off the board. If Dallas had those 7 points on the board, they would have won the game. So, I mean, you got to look at it that way, that Dallas should have walked out of Tampa with a W. But penalties and miscues on the kicking game kind of cost them the game. Tampa Bay just pretty much gave it up with turnovers left, right, and center. There was a key play towards the end of the fourth quarter where Godwin may have acquired a push-off, create an offensive pass interference. Myself, I'm not a player, so I can't really say for myself, but watching these two individuals battle it out for the ball, and the way the angle was where the defensive back was kind of looking over his shoulder, he caught up on his feet. Yes, there was contact. I mean, there's no doubt about that one. The video actually shows that there was contact between them. But I'm thinking of arm extension. I'm thinking more of fully extended, pushing away, and it definitely looks like more of a forearm kind of motion, and then, of course, the player falling back with the hands flying up in the air trying to draw the call. I think it was a great no call. I don't think it was offensive pass interference. I think it was just the two players playing for the ball. One just lost his footing because of the angle. And it didn't result in a touchdown, but it did lead to that game-winning field goal. Now, looking at my predictions, kind of looking over this game, kind of overreaction, basically. I still think Tampa Bay still going to win the South. It might be tighter than I might think it probably will be. And Dallas, right now, still looks pretty good. We'll kind of see how the coming weeks go, especially when Dallas and Washington face off. That's going to be a key matchup. So it's kind of, we'll see how things go from here. But definitely, if you're a Cowboys fan, things are working in the right direction. If you're a Bucs fan, there could be some concern coming up. But the next test for the Cowboys defense will be the Chargers and Justin Herbert, who also likes to throw the rock as well, and that's another stout defense they have to go up against. So things should tell with that, and then after that they'll have Philadelphia, which they should have no issues with. As far as the Buccaneers, their next game gets in Atlanta, so there should be no issue with that one. Then after that, they'll get the Rams, so there'll be another test for them when they're a revamped team. So like I said, going back to my predictions right now, I'm still standing behind them. Like I said, this is only the first game, but definitely rose a lot of questions coming up. So this should be a very exciting season, and we'll see how things kind of progress from here in terms of the season. I'm looking forward to some of the key matchups on Sunday, especially Rams and Bears. As you can tell, I'm a Bears fan, so I got to look at, see how Andy Dalton kind of fares against that atrocious Rams defense. So we'll see. I'll see you soon on another episode of Chat Sports Talk.